Hello again. Welcome to our live show. I'm Bill Bevins. We kick things off with something sweet. Shania. And something sweet to eat. Shane Rogers is here. Her apple brandy pudding is on today's Virginia This Morning dessert menu, and it's always shamefully delicious when this girl comes to town. All right, so what do we got?
Well, we've got a kind of a two-step process. So we're going to start to make the sauce, and then we'll step away and make the batter, and then we'll come back to put it all together.
You know, this seems very fallish.
It is. It totally is.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Totally. All right, can't wait.
So on the stove, about medium heat, I've got 1 cup of cider. You could use apple juice. You could use something, you know, that you like just as well, ginger ale, whatever. Anyway, you need some liquid in the bottom, and that's going to kind of make a sauce for our dessert.
And it smells good, too.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So to that, we're going to add, and it doesn't necessarily need to come to a boil, but it does need to warm everything up. So we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar.
Wow.
We're going to add 2 cups of apples.
And those are cut in fairly small cubes,
They're diced,
aren't they?
and we're not worried about them turning brown because they're going to cook in all the goodness, and it'll look better if they have a little bit of brown.
All that sugar and that cider is going to soak it right up.
And we're going to add something super
here we
delicious. This is apple brandy. It's called Calvados. It's French. It's delicious.
This is probably really good for my cold.
Right? Yeah, well, when I get some in here, I'll give you the rest to sip, right?
Okay.
So we're going to put about 1/4 of a cup of that in.
So we got brandy, sugar, and apple cider so far.
What could be better than that?
Yeah.
We're going to give that a stir. It's going. It's ready to go. It'll be fine by itself for a few minutes.
Yeah, we're going to let that just kind of simmer.
Let that simmer.
Okay.
So over here, we've got another cup of sugar.
A full cup?
Yes, a full cup. This is a sweet, sweet dessert.
Yes, it is.
It's an old-fashioned, like it's a pudding, but it's more of a New England pudding. So there's going to be a little bit of batter, there'll be sauce, and there's going to be some fruit. It's not like a creamy chocolate pudding. Okay. It's a little bit different. It's almost, sometimes it's called pudding cake. But anyway,
we're going to just call it delicious.
We're going to call it delicious, right?
Coming, yeah.
So we've got a stick of melted butter.
So far, I love everything in this.
Right? What could be better than that?
We got sugar, we got apple, we got cider,
we're going to cream this together a little bit. We're going to get this good and stirred up. And we're going to add 1 egg. Oop.
And the egg makes it kind of just
hold
everything together.
And we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Now, on the one that I pre-made, I used almond extract just to kind of play with it. And I think it smelled so good when it was cooking. So I, kind of use what you have on hand and what you like. Like, I love the almond flavor and things. So that's kind of one of the things that I would do. So that's all mixed up. Now
that's nice and smooth looking too at this point,
So we've got 1.5 cups of flour. We've got some baking powder, about 1.5 teaspoons, and just a teeny tiny bit, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Just a little bit to bring out all of the deliciousness.
Okay.
So we're going to give this a little mix just to get it kind of incorporated. Nothing too spectacular. Just kind of, and then we can.
That was very little mixing there. That was
we're going to mix
easy,
it up in here.
Oh, okay.
And so this is going to make that batter that I was talking about, and we're going to preheat our oven to 350.
So you don't need a blender or anything for
this.
No,
this is really simple. This is like a simple kind of farmhouse dessert that your grandma would have made when she didn't know what else was in the house. Because it's just apples and kind of pantry ingredients.
Pantry ingredients, but fresh apples and all the other stuff
apple
too.
Season, so it's time, and you can smell that. Can you smell that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Cooking.
You've got a cold. You probably can't.
I can smell it through the cold. Yeah.
So we don't want to overmix this. We want to get it good and mixed. The other thing I'm going to advise you to do is when you put it in the oven, put a pan under it because it will bubble up and could come over.
Bubbling up's a good thing.
It is. It's delicious. So I'm gonna pop this
She's
in
done
here.
this before.
I try.
Yeah. So that really is. I mean,
it's a thick, heavy batter.
I would say I could do it, but I couldn't do it.
You could do this.
Most people could do this. This
you could totally do this. So get that just kind of flattened out. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's totally good enough. Okay, so this hasn't necessarily come up to the boil yet, but it's really okay. It's starting a little bit around the edges, and it's going to cook in the oven, so it doesn't really matter all that much. You just want it warmed.
Yeah, just so the apples kind of soak up some of the stuff.
Yeah, gets it all come together. So with a slotted spoon,
Oh, so we're not doing the actual juice?
We will do the juice, but if you pour the juice right on the batter, it would kind of splatter everywhere and make a dimple or whatever. So we're going to scoop out the apples.
Oh, man, that smells great.
Right, doesn't it? So I originally started making this recipe years and years and years ago. It was a sour cherry pudding. And I thought, we got to be able to do something with apples.
I didn't ask what apple you used.
I'm using Gala today because I had them in the house, number one.
Would Granny Smith
Granny Smith would be great. Because you're putting so much sugar in it that the tartness of the Granny Smith would totally work.
Yeah.
So once you've got most of the apples here and kind of flattened out.
Now we put the sauce in.
Now you can pour the sauce on.
Oh, man. That looks great.
It does look good, doesn't it?
So all of that sugar and everything is going to cook when we put it in the oven.
It's going to cook. It's going to make a sauce.
Okay, so you got it at 250 now?
Well, no, that's for show, right?
Yeah.
So if you're really going to bake this, pop it in at 350 for about 45 minutes to an hour. Keep an eye on it because sometimes it cooks a little faster than others.
Let's get that one out and show it to the folks. They're telling us we're out of time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oop. So now you can see that it kind of made a sauce around the edge.
It did.
And so
it looks so good.
It's going to be delicious. Anyway, here you go.
Okay, folks, we're going to give this a test. Trust me, it's going to be good. You can find this tasty recipe on our show website by 2 p.m. today. By then, all of this will be gone. At WTVR.com/VTM.